welcome back, everyone. We've got another episode of Spooky Mountain ready for you. I am Steph, and I've got Jordi with me. How you going?
Oh, I'm good. I'm ready to tell some spooky stories.
Your voice is sounding a lot better. Less
Heaps
husky.
better.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I still have like this lingering cough, though, and it is just fucking me up.
Oh, yeah.
Constantly. It's just awful. Like all through my sleep.
Oh, my God. I hate
the
that.
time.
The constant rattle.
Oh, it's like in the chest as well. It's not fun. How are you going?
Yeah, good. Yep, things are going good.
Nice.
Life's been interesting. And I'll leave it at that.
Yes.
But yeah, what have you got coming up for us?
So I have a very different story this week. I'm just gonna say it straight away. It's a cult themed thing.
Oh.
Which I don't think either of us have really done.
No.
On the podcast. So, I am a little bit nervous that it's not kind of just exciting enough. But yeah, it's a pretty, this cult has been in the news recently, so it's kind of relevant to
has it? Okay.
recent days, you know? But what are you doing?
Okay, cool. So I'm doing a conspiracy slash...
conspiracy.
Yeah, it's like an alien conspiracy. So it's like a fun conspircy.
Awesome.
But also it could be very much real. Like this one is leaning towards, hey, this is interesting and this would be really cool if it was real. So you know, it's not like a Hollow Earth one, you know, where we're just like,
exactly.
Okay, this is fucking insane. This
that's
is
what
like
I was gonna say.
Rubbing your hands together going, this would be fucking sick.
Wow,
so
that's awesome. So conspiracy kind of mixed with like alien-esque theme.
Government, US government.
Ooh, wow, it's like all the good things
it's got
smooshed into one delicious bite.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, how exciting. Well, our conspiracy episodes always end up being really popular.
They tick some boxes for some people, I think, those ones.
Oh, yeah. Tickle them in the right places.
So just a reminder, everyone, you can support us if you would like to. We have a link to our Patreon, which is in all the show notes for every episode. There's also something called Buy Me Coffee, where it's just a one-off payment. So if you want to check those out, that would be awesome. For our Patreon, if you do sign up, you actually get a lot of exclusive content, and we've got a private Discord where we all talk shit every day and send weird pictures to each other. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
And memes.
And otherwise, of course, leave us a review or rating. That's just so helpful and gets us moved up on the charts so more people can see what we're doing.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had a new review. So maybe you, dear listener, can be the next person to leave us a review. Yes, it only takes 1 minute. I'm guesstimating.
So write something up, or 1 second to just leave a 5-star review.
Go do it right now. And so if you're not in the business of leaving us a review, which is, you should be leaving us a review anyway. Yeah. But if you're not, you can just follow what we do on Instagram. You can also leave us a review on Facebook because we're on Facebook as well, but we are mainly on Instagram. We love chatting with the people. We love posting photos and doing all that kind of thing. And we have like plenty of other platforms that we're on as well, such as like TikTok, and we are on Twitter, and you can find all those platforms that we're on through our website, which is spookymountainpodcast.com. And if you would like to contact us a little bit more directly, say with perhaps a story or just to say hi, you can leave us a SpeakPipe message, which is a 60-second maximum voice message, or just send us an email at spookymountainpodcast@gmail.com. We always reply to our emails every single time because we just silently
we check every day
when we
love to hear from you. So
yes, we're very enthusiastic. Yeah. So do any of those things listed above, and we will love you forever.
Yeah, and we got a really. Look, we have mentioned this already, but we're doing a live show, which is
oh my God,
so fucking exciting and
so
weird
exciting.
and
nerve-wracking,
and it's gonna be so fun.
I know.
I feel like, I don't know, I'm in this weird headspace where I'm like super confident, and I'm just like, I think it's just gonna be fine, and we're gonna be fine, and everything's gonna be really great, and it'll be super fun. And then I feel like I'm gonna get there and then make eye contact with people and then just shit my pants or something.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be one of those things where it's like we're so confident, and then on the night it's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
I know a fair few people that have bought tickets already. So
Same.
if you want to come, I recommend that you jump online and buy a ticket now. We'll have the link on our website, and it is also on our Instagram to go buy a ticket, $15. You can also buy food, and it's going to go from between 2 hours to 2.5 hours, and it's going to be very similar to our regular episodes, but Steph and I are doing a few different stories each, and we're going to do like a little Q&A and whatnot.
Yeah. So we get to kind of talk a bit of shit at the end before we all get booted from the venue. So we're just gonna, we want to hear your questions because we know you've got them. So I think that's kind of the perfect chance.
It's BYO as well. So let's all just kind of get drunk together and talk about spooky shit.
Yes. Like, I feel like it's just going to be really great. And it's very exciting. And it's coming up soon. So, what's the date again? It's May
12th.
That's
May
it.
12th.
Which is a Thursday, so it is a school night.
Oh, it's a school night.
So I know it's for Sydney people, it might be a little bit hard to get to. That's all good because we are also recording it. So if you are a patron, you will be able to watch it later because I know a lot of people won't be able to make it, or, you live overseas. So, it will be available for you guys.
Even more reason to join our Patreon. So, Steph, I was wondering if you would like to hear something interesting that happened to me the other day.
Always.
I'm starting to get a little bit self-conscious about how often I talk about, weird shit that happens
You're
to me.
just very lucky, I think.
Very lucky. I feel like I'm talking about myself too much. Maybe you should tell me.
I'm trying to. Fucking trust me. I think I'm just... I don't know. I'm just focusing on my phone and computer a bit too much.
There's ghosts all around you and aliens.
I'm not
you just don't realize.
On the demons that are sitting next to me.
Kids and their damn phones. Well, so what happened to me was I was in my car driving through the mountains the other day, and I saw maybe 100 meters in front of me, maybe not even, there was a whole bunch of army helicopters. So they were like camo helicopters, and they were pretty close, low down. They were pretty low down. And as I was kind of getting closer to them, I looked in the distance and I saw, I don't even know how to describe it really because it was moving so fast that I just don't even really know details of it. I couldn't see it properly. So this thing looked like, so it was in the air, but it looked like it didn't have any wings, and it was traveling super, super fast, and it was kind of going at a really sharp diagonal angle down.
Wow, okay.
But a very tight angle. So you know how in a plane when it's landing, it kind of has a very wide diagonal down. This was quite sharp and it was going so fast. And it was definitely elongated. And these helicopters, they started traveling, flying in the direction of this other flying thing. So
could you see how big was it compared to the helicopters?
I don't know. It was
too far from it.
Yeah, it was too far. I want to say it was a couple of kilometers away.
Okay.
So
what
it definitely.
The fuck?
Yeah, I have no idea, and it was near a RAF base as well. Yeah. So a army plane
like Royal Air Force Base.
Yeah, Royal Air Force Base.
Yeah, I know. I think I know exactly what you mean. That's weird. I mean, usually near that Air Force Base as well, like sometimes you see one or two helicopters. Like sometimes you see that Elvis one, like the big Elvis, helicopter, but never a few.
No, this
and
was
also
a handful.
You saw that
the thing at the same time, the exact same time.
Was it shining like off the sun? Was it?
I'm not sure, but it was definitely a grey colour.
Oh,
I remember it for sure being a grey colour. It looked like it was almost like it was elongated, and then it had like this boxy square part on the top.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I'm hoping that I just saw a UFO.
Yeah. Did you, because I know, you know, you've got a few like UFO pages and stuff, like local ones. Did you reach out to anyone? Did you see if anyone else has seen it? Yes,
I did. So I posted everything that I just said, like all the details on like an Australian UFO page, and the response that I got a few times that interested me the most was that people were saying that there is I forget exactly what it is, but it's like a supersonic jet or something that is going to be in the country, or it is in the country. That would be the closest explanation.
It's weird that it was moving downwards in that direction, though.
That's the weirdest part. That was absolutely
if it
the
can
weirdest
move
part. The
that
angle.
fast, and
at
go
that angle,
you wouldn't be wanting anything going down that direction.
Exactly. At first, I thought it was a plane crashing because it was going so fast down at that angle. Definitely not a plane crash, and as I said, like, couldn't see any wings on it. But yeah, on this like UFO page that I posted it on, like a lot of responses also were like, oh, there was a landslide in the mountains the other day, so probably had something to do with that. But this was like far
different direction.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, very strange. Very strange, very interesting.
Really fucking strange. Oh, lucky you, man.
I've never seen something like that.
Someone else that would have, like...
Someone else must have seen...
I feel like...
something.
I'm wondering, like... Because if it was a few kilometres away, I'm trying to think, like... I think, like, Windsor, like, Penrith area, maybe there's, like, a UFO page around that area where they would have been closer to that sighting and might have seen something. I don't know. That's pretty fucking cool.
See, my guess is that it was, so for anyone in the mountains, you would know where I'm talking about. If you're out of the mountains, maybe not, but the object looked like it was in the area of like Emu Plains.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Yeah, so just a few kilometres, a couple of kilometres down the road from where like the base and the helicopters were.
Right, and over the Nepean River?
Yep. Definitely exactly in that spot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
Spot on.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
The reason I posted it on the UFO page was originally to find out if anyone knew of any like army or RAF training exercises that were happening that day that could, possibly explain what was happening.
Yeah.
But it was like a handful of helicopters, and very clearly
so strange,
like army helicopters. I don't know. I still am I'm awaiting for like someone to answer me logically and be like, yes, there was this kind of training exercise.
I can confirm that this is what it is. Like,
there was a rescue happening. Why you wouldn't need that many helicopters for a rescue, or I don't know.
That's very, I mean, look, I think you saw what you saw, and I think that's very strange. And
I saw what I saw.
Lucky you, once again. And fuck you at the same time.
You'll get there one day, Steph. Don't worry. Move back to the mountains and you will see some weird shit.
Yeah, true. That's true. Well, yeah.
I will let you know that my story is quite long tonight, so maybe we should get a start on,
let's
our
do
stories.
It. Mine's a little bit of a shorter one, so that actually works really well.
Perfect. They'll balance each other out.
All right, cool. So, I'll get into mine. So, this is a very little spicy story, I think.
A spicy story.
As I said, it's like a conspiracy about the US government having a very extraordinary meeting with something from out of this world.
Oh, well, feasible already.
Yes. So this does kind of cover two topics that I love, conspiracy and aliens, of course.
Yep.
Now, heads up, it is quite wild. I don't honestly know if it's true, and even if it's not, it's super interesting and fun. But if it did happen, it would literally be the most fascinating and important event that's probably ever happened.
Yeah, like world-changing.
Yeah.
You know?
So it all begins with President Dwight Eisenhower, but he's also known as Ike, so you'll often hear me saying Ike or Eisenhower. I tend to mix it up a bit. So he was the 34th president of the United States from 1953 to 1961. He was incredibly popular to the people at the time, as he was also the head commander in World War II. He was awarded with his own parade, so, he was, he
weird guy.
Weird guy, yeah.
Situation,
Some of the,
yes.
We don't really agree with a lot of the politics there, but it's they liked him at the time, so interesting. But so prior to this special meeting that he's going to have, and prior to him becoming president, he actually had his own UFO experience. So it was 1952, so this was the year before he became president. He was on the USS Franklin Roosevelt as a guest. He was below deck that morning, so it's this huge, big, warship. And it was very early in the morning. It must have been 2 or 3 in the morning, and this huge storm hit. It was in the English Channel, just off the coast of France. There was lightning, torrential rain, wind, and he just couldn't keep us asleep. He was like, oh, for fuck's sake, this is just insane.
That would be so terrifying.
Oh my God,
well.
I'd be throwing up everywhere. So he got up and was like, fuck this. Went up to that little cabin where the captain is, and they were like, oh, hey. They gave him a coffee, and he's just chilling out with everyone in there. They're all hanging out, watching the storm. And all of a sudden, one of the crew members looks out the window and alerts everyone. Every time the lightning would flash, it would brighten up the sky, like they could see clear as day. And there was a UFO. It was said to be the classic silver saucer shape, and it was hovering directly over the ship.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, straight over. So could you imagine, as soon as the lightning lights up, and you could just see it, and then it goes black again.
You would shit yourself.
Yeah. It's so scary. But this lasted for 10 minutes. Which is crazy, because usually these encounters don't really last that too long.
No.
10 minutes this lasted. Many people witnessed this. They weren't actually scared, though. They said they were all quite calm and just unsure really as to what was going on. Ike told everyone there, look, don't tell anyone. Let's just keep this under wraps. Don't say a word. I'm going to sort this out. I'm going to go below deck and sort some shit out, and, don't worry about it. But no one heard about anything ever since. No one heard from their commanders, what to do about the situation or if they're going to file a report. Nothing happened. But then 1997.
What do you do in that situation? I know you can't they have a manual of, what to do.
It's hard. But yeah, 1997, someone actually released, I think he was the last person on the ship that was still alive, and he went to the New York Times and told them about the story. So that's when it kind of first came to light, that story. But so Ike's always had he's always had an interest in UFOs, and I guess alien life. It's something that he has kind of leaned towards. Maybe this encounter did really flare it up, but apparently he's always had it.
Yeah, it definitely, if you see something like that, it would just fascinate you. You would just be driven to find out what it was or why it was there.
So now it's a year later. He's president, 1954, and it's February 20th. Ike is on a golfing vacation in Palm Springs, California. This is already seen to be a little bit strange, as he actually usually goes to Georgia to golf. It's a lot closer to where he was. But yeah, he's decided to go to the Mojave Desert this time to go for a golfing trip.
Of course, the perfect place to go for a golfing trip.
Super strange. He was staying at the Smoke Tree Ranch. Mostly while he was there, he just played golf while he was there and signed a couple of papers, but nothing too major. Of course, now later that Friday night, there was a huge event at the El Mirador Hotel where they invited the media to have free food, free drinks, get them all drunk and, you know, have a bit of fun. But, pretty much everyone of importance was there except Eisenhower and all of his aides. They did not show up. They put on this bit of a party, but they did not show up.
There. Why weren't they there? Where were they?
So, multiple people, including William Cooper, who was on the Naval Intelligence Briefing Team, and he had access to classified documents. And then we've also got Dr. Michael Salla, who is a well-known scholar in international politics and US foreign policy. They believe that something really spectacular happened that night. It is believed that Ike had been privately flown to Edwards Air Force Base, where he had a meeting with extraterrestrials. And look, I'll be honest, when I was studying for this, it felt like I was like just reading an X-Files episode script. Yep. It was so crazy.
It's wild.
But yeah, it was very interesting. So yes, this is very commonly believed that something strange happened that night.
Okay.
Now, the aliens that he supposedly met with, they are what you think they are. He actually met aliens that were around 5 feet tall, had a very similar body structure to us humans, and had a little bit of fuzz on top of their heads.
Oh, it's cute.
Yeah. Their skin color was different to ours. They don't say what color it was, but they just said it looked a bit different, maybe because of like the oxygen or something. Maybe it just oxidized.
It oxidized their skin.
Made it look quite strange. They wore flight suits as well. However, there has been other reportings that the aliens that they met with were called Nordics.
Oh,
so if you're not sure what a Nordic alien is, it's a type of alien, and it refers to someone that looks Scandinavian, pretty much.
Yes.
So the Nordics, they're described as having white skin, pale blue eyes, colorless lips, but they do resemble humans as well. They got very light, straight hair, usually, quite like blonde, white, very pale red.
Super Scandinavian.
yeah, that's it. So yeah, we've got a mixture of what they look like.
Okay.
But yeah, the Nordics, they claim to be from the planet Venus. And then they later say that they're from the Pleiades star cluster. And the Nordics have actually come up quite a few times. They're described lots of times in ancient civilizations and a lot of abduction cases as well. They always reference these Nordic-looking beings.
Right, so they're a very interesting type of alien.
Yeah.
Then seemingly involved with a lot of different
they tend to be really quite nice, and they're not like mean-natured at all, but they kind of always seem to be there. The Hopi Indians would actually call them true white brothers.
Oh, creepy.
So that's what they would call them.
Fucking creepy.
But they would say they were incredibly peaceful entities and would signal the end of the fourth age. Travis Walton as well, which I've talked about before, he described Nordics as well as a type of entity. And yeah, he saw them.
Right, so he... this is the type of alien that he saw when he was taken.
Yeah, when he was taken as well.
Okay.
Yeah. We've also got George Adamski, who claimed he had interacted with a group of Nordic aliens from Venus, and he actually wrote many books about all of his encounters as well about the Nordic aliens. Yeah. So... yeah, I don't know. It's kind of pushing towards the Nordic story that most people go with, but there's also the other one. I like the little fuzz on top of the
little
head.
fuzzies.
I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So what happened during this secret meeting with Ike and the aliens? According to Navy Commander Charles L. Suggs, his father was actually at the meeting along with many other officials and a camera crew.
Oh,
yeah, so
okay.
there is apparently there is photo and video evidence of this meeting. People say that they have seen it, but who knows? But yeah, apparently 5 ships had actually landed. So they were already there. They were already parked inside the hangar. And it's all speculated that this was all planned. So everyone knew this meeting was going to happen.
Oh, okay, right. So it wasn't that they just randomly landed and then there was like an emergency meeting. Right. This was like a planned event. Okay.
Yeah. So 3 of the crafts were circular-shaped, while the other 2 were cigar-shaped. He said that there were 2 aliens standing to have the meeting with Ike, and there was another one that was just kind of standing at the door. These beings actually spoke English, which is really fascinating because you rarely hear this. Like, a lot of them are telepathic. Like, yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard of a alien encounter where they're speaking at all.
Me neither.
It's all telepathic.
It's all telepathic. So, yeah, this one, they say that they spoke English, so they must be studying the English language, yeah. Or they're humans from the future and they already knew how to speak English. I mean,
that's a
very
good
point.
That
up there, you know.
That's a good point.
Yeah. They're probably thinking that about us, like, oh, wow, they can speak English. Wow.
How amazing.
They're so good at it. So the meeting was not hostile. They were incredibly friendly. The reason for the appearance was for Eisenhower to sign a treaty. The aliens would like us humans to cease any further testing and use on nuclear weapons.
Oh, I love this so much. When you started this story, I was like, at the end of Steph's story, I have to bring up the point of nuclear stuff because it's very a very interesting point. Yeah,
it's insane. Yeah, we both know how often this happens with alien stories. You know. Like, why are we still playing with nukes? Like, we still are to this fucking day. It's so stupid.
It's crazy.
It makes me so angry.
Oh, and like just the amount of UFO sightings surrounding detonations and stuff.
Decades of people being warned by aliens to stop messing around with this shit. Yeah. We've been warned so many times by aliens and by humans as well. Like, we know it's not safe.
Literally. Like, we have the information.
Yeah, exactly.
Already, we're dum-dums for...
So apparently the main reason why they don't want us doing this is because apparently the explosion does something to time and space, and it will impact extraterrestrial life on other planets.
Wow.
So it's not just us we're fucking up. It's like
other species.
A whole thing. So, yeah, it's a much bigger picture, you know. So, yeah, you know, we've heard of a lot of stories about UFO sightings near nuclear bases. There are a lot, and there's also one where they've deactivated nukes as well that were about to be set off. The aliens had actually... So these aliens actually offered as well to provide clean energy technologies and an education program for us humans to show how this would affect us and everyone else in the universe, which is...
That's so funny.
Yeah, so it's painful to listen to this.
It's painful. It reminds me of like someone that has to go to like parenting classes.
Yes.
Or like drink drivers who have to go to like education classes.
I'd like to know how it would be done. Like how they do like a group
leaflet
thing, or come to a house, like door knock and be like, hey, a little projector machine or something.
This is how to not be stupid idiot.
Don't blow things up.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But yeah, Eisenhower actually didn't really like any of this.
Of course he didn't.
He was like, nah, I don't know about this. Like, I don't know what it will do to, like, you know, with all that clean energy, what are we going to do? The car industry is going to go, the oil industry, like, people won't have jobs and everything. It's like, look, we will rebuild and we will have a better fucking world and future. Like,
wow, it's
we
almost
will
like
sort it out.
Big, powerful men benefit off the crushing of the little people.
Yes, exactly. It's fucking painful. So the aliens also decided to do a little show before they left. They got in their crafts, they flew up into the sky and they were zooming around and doing all this fancy shit. To be honest, I think I would probably freak out. If I was seeing all this stuff like right in front of me. And Ike freaked out because he's actually a pilot himself.
Okay.
And to see what those machines were capable of, he would have been like, I don't know if, like... Because obviously it wouldn't be just given to the Americans, like it would be given to everyone. So it would just be crazy. Imagine the world wars in the future with this technology. Like I think he was just thinking, you know, he's been in the army for ages. He's quite conservative, you know, thinking of all this. So I think that freaked him out.
I guess it's almost like a show of power in a way as well, even though these aliens are... very, very peaceful. It almost is just like, this is what we can do.
Yeah.
Even though they are offering the knowledge.
I think they were like going into it like, this is great. How cool is this? Look at your so shitty little fucking Flintstone mobiles.
Yeah.
And we've got this mad shit.
Yeah. Look at me do this flip.
Yeah. So, he wasn't liking that at all. But the one thing that actually did make this whole event really unnerving was that they showed Ike that they could turn themselves completely invisible. 1 second they were there, then they were gone. This technique is something that, of course, he was fearful of, because if you just imagine the general population was to know about this, you know, then we're thinking of, like, murderers, robbers, like everyone's just doing it. So Eisenhower pretty much told them, look, it's best if you just leave. We just want the world to stay the way it is right now. We're not ready for this. It is cool, but not yet. I don't think we're there yet. So there was no treaty signed that night, and they went their separate ways. But they did return a year later.
There's another meeting.
Oh, yeah. So in February 1955, exactly a year later, February 19th, I believe this time, Eisenhower had met with other aliens at Holloman Air Force Base, which is near the site of the Roswell crash. I'm just putting it out there. But on this night, the president was at Georgia this time for his golfing trip, so where he usually is. And they put on another party for the media.
Right. So can I just quickly ask, why is this happening with the media? Is it to distract them from...
I feel like it's to distract them from the fact that
he's going somewhere?
Gone. Yes. Because usually they would, like, report on where he is all the time. And they knew at this time, oh, he's here at his golfing trip. So if they're like, oh, let's have a little party, we're all just going to, like, relax. And so they're not technically on the clock.
No one's going to be monitoring what he's doing.
Yeah, so he's gone. Like, he's already gone. Yeah. Okay. So it's something that they seem to be doing just to, get them drunk and forget.
Throw off the scent.
Yeah. So, now for this event, about 300 people actually witnessed this. The Air Force One, so the president's airplane, landed at Holloman Air Force Base. The plane then slowly taxied to the end of the runway while the pilot instructed the tower to turn off the radar. Shortly after this, everyone witnessed 3 round objects in the sky. One of them landed about 200 feet from Eisenhower's plane. The second would hover above the area, while the third one had just completely disappeared. Eisenhower was seen leaving his plane. He got out and he shook hands with another being that exited the other craft. Ike then followed it into their craft, and he stayed in there for 45 minutes.
Oh my God, what was he doing in there?
Kissing, I reckon. And then he came out. And he
had a cigarette in one hand and a glass of whiskey in the other.
His jacket thrown over the other shoulder.
Hair's all ruffled.
He got back on his plane and he left. Now, the being that was described this time was not a Nordic. It was actually a grey.
Oh, grey, a fucking grey.
Classic thin grey, creepy alien, the big head, the big black bug eyes, no mouth, like...
Creepy.
Yuck, yeah. So during this meeting, Ike allegedly signed an agreement this time called the Greada Treaty. So the terms of the treaty are as followed. We would not be involved in their affairs and they would not become involved in ours. Fair. Number 2, they would help us with developing our technology.
Oh, this makes sense.
Number 3, they would not make a treaty with any other nation on Earth.
Oh, okay.
Number 4, they could abduct humans for various experiments, but had to provide names of all those they abducted to Earth's Majestic 12 Committee. I don't know if you've heard of them before. They're like I've got to do an episode on this, but there is a secret, like, Majestic 12 group of people that are, like, no names for these people. They are, like, the ones that run the shit.
Oh.
Like yeah, they call them Majestic 12 in Earth.
On Earth,
like,
okay, yeah.
The actual human beings.
Right.
So, yeah, they require those names.
Shit. Okay.
That's, like, some real conspiracy shit, the Majestic 12. And the last one is the public would not be informed about the existence of ETs.
Okay.
So, apparently, from the date of that signature, this would begin. We would see our technology start to take off.
Blossom.
Yeah, and we've never seen it like it has before. Like, it really has. Like, we're thinking of, like,
exploded.
The early 50s. Yeah, it's insane. We would also start to hear many stories of abductions, which, as crazy as it sounds, it does ring some bells, because the 1950s is where we do start to hear an endless amount of abduction stories and cattle and animal mutilations. Don't get me wrong, like, there has been a lot of UFO sightings before as well, but I don't think there's that. I really can't think of abduction stories prior to the 50s or the 40s even.
Oh, it's like the catalyst moment.
Yeah.
Like, it's the,
Yeah, like, there's a lot of alien UFO sightings, but nothing with actually being abducted. So, I don't know. I think that's kind of interesting. Maybe they were doing abductions before, but just without a permission. They were just being a little bit shaky. So, now, if you are someone... If you do know this story, so if there are some listeners that probably know what I'm talking about, you might have heard the dentist cover-up story, which is what I always knew. When I've known about this story for ages, and I always kind of knew there was, like, this whole dentist story woven in with this. But it doesn't really add up. So I'll explain so everyone kind of knows what's going on. There was this potential idea that he had a dentist appointment, an emergency dentist appointment, but he didn't actually go to the dentist appointment. He went to the meeting. But that didn't actually happen the way it was, which is pretty much nearly every article I've read was sticking onto this story because it sounds interesting. Like, there's this weird, like, dentist story. But if we go back to the very first Friday night where Ike didn't show up to that event with the Nordics, it's commonly mixed up that people say that he actually made an excuse to go get emergency dental work, and there was no proof of this. So they were like, oh, he didn't actually go to the dentist. However, it was actually the following night he did actually get dental work, and there is actual proof of it.
Right, so it definitely wasn't the night of the media shit. It definitely wasn't the night
that he didn't show up to that event. Like, he wasn't there. So
that's like a fact that we know that he didn't go to get dental work because he did it the next day.
That's right. So the Friday night was the big media party. He never showed up to the media party. The following Saturday night, after he had his encounter, he had dinner with a large group of people, and he chipped his tooth on a duck leg. There was a bit of shard left in it from a buckshot. The people, it was like at a guest house it was at, and they were very apologetic. They're like, oh my God, sorry, it was a fresh duck from this morning, and it was all right. But he chipped his tooth. There was actually someone at the dinner who confirmed that this happened. Like, they saw it all happen.
This is a true story.
Yep. So they actually called the local dentist that night, and they said, on the phone, the president is here and he's chipped his tooth and we need to get work done now. Like, it was the middle of the night, and the dentist was like, okay, yeah, right, the president, okay, and hung up. 2 hours later, the dentist doesn't show up, and they call him and they're like, what's going on? The president is still waiting. And he's like, oh shit. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Like, I thought this was a joke. So he rushes to his dentist office in the middle of the night. President's there. They go. They give him like a temporary filling, which there's paperwork for. And then there is also official paperwork of when he goes back to the White House and he goes to his real dentist and they do the permanent filling as well. Oh, my God. And all the dates are there. So I just want to fucking put that out there.
We love paperwork. We love paperwork. We love official stuff.
So as funny as it does sound, and a lot of people are like, oh, he chipped his tooth on a chicken wing. That's what everyone was saying. But it was a duck leg, and it was the night after. So,
and it was buckshot, which is...
And it was a buckshot, yeah.
It makes a difference,
It was like, yeah. So, now during that night, on Saturday, when he was whisked away to the dentist, the reporters actually thought something much more serious was happening, and there was a report that came out that said Eisenhower died tonight of a heart attack in Palm Springs. But then they retracted the statement like 2 minutes later, and they were like, oh my fucking God, sorry. Like,
how do you get that so mixed up?
It's so funny. I just love that just happened that night. It's like, he's at the dentist, he's fine. Like,
he had a chipped tooth.
It's so funny. So, yeah, if this is all true about his whole meeting and everything, Eisenhower really did get the ball rolling, I guess, and was able to make some incredible history. But it seems like it does continue. There has been talk that the treaty was only signed for 10 years. So on February 20th, 10 years later, after the first one, President Lyndon B. Johnson had actually met up with Eisenhower to discuss the re-signing of the treaty. So there has been a kind of common themes of being on the exact date again, having presidents meeting again.
Yes.
There's not too much documentation about that, but I think it's pretty interesting. But yeah, many people all over the world, including a fair few of US presidents, have encountered a UFO or even seen an alien. So this is really something that should be taken seriously, even if this story is true or not. To me, it does make sense that something like this would actually happen. But yeah, I don't know. I hope you enjoyed the fun story of Eisenhower's wild weekend.
A wild weekend away.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I think it does make sense that there would be some kind of agreement, some kind of discussion or something like that, considering, I mean, I feel like if there are alien races out there, they probably are much more advanced. If they're visiting us, I feel like they're much more advanced. But that doesn't mean that we don't have things that could potentially be harmful to them just because they're probably way more smarter than what we are.
Oh, they've got to be. I mean, we've got to have a bit of hope there because we can't be the smartest out there.
No, we're fucking stupid. We're like the
crazy.
rednecks of the universe, you know.
I know. We don't know what we're fucking doing.
Especially with the bombs and stuff, like there's some pretty hectic stuff out there, and that's just what we do know. Mm-hmm. I could imagine there's a lot that we don't know that exists in our Earth, on our Earth, that could probably do a lot of damage. And, you know, not just to our planet, but...
to time and space.
To time and space. I love that. I mean, and I think this does make sense, you know, for the leaders of the country to have to kind of... It's so funny to me. It's such a, like, earthy thing to sign an agreement that's like, you must not talk to other nations. You must not do this, not do that.
It's hard to think like what you would do in that position. Like some of it, I'm like, sign away, like that's great. And then also it's like, but with this gets in the wrong hands as well.
Yes. Oh, this is true.
And also it opens the doors for others, life coming in, thinking that they can make agreements with other people as well and might do this weird... I don't know. It's pretty insane.
There is a lot of possibilities with this. Even it opens the door to other, like, alien races. It opens the door to other nations on Earth, you know, utilising this kind of thing.
You've got to keep it simple. And yes, I do understand hiding it from the people. I completely do, because I think unless you're going to make massive changes, there's no point.
There's no point. I think it would really affect us in a pretty 100%. Hectic way. Yeah, if you're right, like if there are no changes made. Yeah. Like it would just kind of be chaos, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's very... I've not heard of that before. It's,
cool.
Yeah. I love a good conspiracy.
Yeah, me too.
Steph's conspiracies are awesome.
I'm excited to hear your cult story. I have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
It's a very interesting timeline. So, as I said, we're going to be looking at a cult tonight. And, well, actually, there is a little bit of debate whether this is a cult or not. Some people kind of butt heads trying to make a decision. But me personally, I do think this group is a cult. Right. And you'll kind of find out why soon. Okay. So this story does almost edge on the precipice of true crime. Yep. It's a story surrounding a cult that still has dedicated members today. Even though this story itself is not paranormal, the views of this cult, I guess you could say, are paranormal, which can be applied to all religions and cults around the world in their own way. So the cult that I'm going to be talking about is a group that goes by the name Love Has Won, also referred to as just LHW. And even though I'm going to be going into their theology and history, I'm also going to talk about something very weird and creepy that happened within the cult in 2021, specifically with the leader of the cult, a woman named Amy Carlson.
Wow.
So it's a woman, which isn't
that's not the case. I've never heard of this before.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you got me. I have no idea about this. And this is so recent.
Kind of recent. Like, it spans over a fair few years, but the creepy, weird thing that happened was last year.
Okay, cool. Yes. Oh, yeah.
So Amy Carlson is where I'd like to begin this story, because she's definitely our main feature of this timeline. She's the reason why things get extremely weird for Love Has Won. So Amy, who would eventually come to be known to her followers as Mother, Tia, Pele, Mother God, and just simply sometimes known as Mum. She was born in 1975, and she was born and bred in Dallas, Texas. Her parents described her as a straight-A student and someone who was just very friendly and kind to the people around her when she was a child. And she was just a real country girl, down-to-earth country girl. However, in Amy's early adult life, she became increasingly interested in the New Age movement, such as crystals, oils, meditation, that kind of thing.
Yep.
She also started talking about some pretty outlandish things, such as starships coming down to save the enlightened ones.
Oh, God.
And she would regularly talk about light workers and soul healers and woo-woo shit like that.
Yeah, she's like 1975. It's coming off as like the right age for like the whole New Age.
Yes,
like I'm thinking. Like most. Yeah, that makes sense.
Although I know many people who talk like this.
Yeah. Oh, same.
Like you and I, we come from the Blue Mountains. The place is full of people like this.
Like half the mountains.
Half the mountains. Yeah. So Amy, she would frequent New Age forums online later in life, like in adulthood, to talk to other people who were like-minded. And this is how she started talking to a man named Amaranth White Eagle. So some sources say Amaranth White Eagle. Some sources say Amaranth White Eagle. So I'm just going with Amaranth. These two soon struck up a type of online relationship, sharing opinions and philosophies on everything spiritual. After some time, Amaranth became quite infatuated with Amy, and he began telling her that she was actually a divine entity that had been sent down to Earth to do the work of the angels and the higher powers.
Lucky her.
Oh, wow. Lucky Amy, yep. It was not long after this that Amy claimed that she began experiencing paranormal phenomena and visions of a mission. This was enough for Amy to make the decision to up and leave her husband, her children, and her manager's position at McDonald's.
Oh.
And she also ceased almost all contact with extended family too.
Oh, no, that's never a good sign.
That's not good. Yeah. Cult.
Yeah.
And she did
red
this.
Flags.
Yeah, massive red flags. She did all of this to travel to meet up with Amaranth White Eagle to continue her divine work as a healer and divine messenger.
Yeah.
The duo called themselves the Galactic Federation of Light, and they decided that the best way to spread the message of God was to post YouTube videos preaching their message. This all was occurring in the year of 2009. So Amy was in her 30s now at this time. The duo decided to base themselves in Crestone, Colorado. Now, if you've never heard of Crestone, Crestone is absolutely known for being a hippie hub. It's a very minimally populated place with a population currently of about 140 people.
Oh.
So,
okay.
Yeah, it's always
very small.
Quite a small population. It's nestled in a valley and surrounded by beautiful, huge Rocky Mountains. And it's the type of place where there is one little nan and pop grocery store, and you have to travel far out of town for any other supplies and whatnot. Crestone is a place where a lot of people run away to create a new alternative life for themselves. It's a place where many people go to seek a more new age lifestyle. And in turn, this also creates some issues in the community with people who have drug addictions and other issues, and just also people who don't really want to be found either. So it's really just a mixing pot of
I can imagine
drug use and I don't even know how to...
Yeah, they're just not really sure where their life is going, and they kind of can feel a bit lost.
Yeah,
I guess.
Exactly. And, every night it's like drum circles out in the bush and like, psychedelics and drug use and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, okay.
So while in Crestone, Amy in Amaranth managed to create a following of between 12 to 20 people. Mm-hmm. They continued to create YouTube videos daily in order to recruit more followers, solicit donations, and promote new age products that they were making themselves, such as vitamin supplements and oils. They also offered etheric surgery, which cost $88 a session. Ooh. And it involved an online video call where they would remotely remove negative energy from the body.
Oh, fascinating. Okay.
Yes. And this would apparently cure illness and ailments, as well as curing cancer.
Oh, shit. All right.
Yeah, it's the world's biggest secret.
Yeah.
They would also preach about love and unity and divine healing and harmony, despite the fact that many of their videos had anti-Semitic content, such as Holocaust denial and sentiments such as praising Hitler.
Oh, of course. Okay.
Such a thing that happens now is like a lot of the New Age movement also just fucking love Hitler. I don't know what it is.
What the fuck? Is it because of his like occult connection?
Maybe. I don't know. I think it's because a lot of like we may lose some listeners due to this, but
yeah,
I think a lot of New Age followers are also massive conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, that's very true.
And so a lot of them think
whole like alternative media.
Exactly.
Kind of
exactly.
Shit. Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Okay.
And they think that the Holocaust is fake, and
I mean that's just the whole Holocaust denial thing is
crazy.
It's so that's legitimately.
It's crazy. The worst thing. It is literally the worst thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, as the leader of the group and proclaimed Mother God, Amy was also held in such high regard by her followers, almost as a prophet and a divine being. They claimed that Amy was a sacred 19 billion-year-old god who had birthed all of creation. Amy herself claimed that she had been reincarnated 534 times.
Oh my God.
Including being reincarnated as Jesus, Cleopatra, Joan of Arc, Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, okay.
And she also claimed that she was going to lead 144,000 people into a mystical fifth dimension.
Wowza. All right. That's quite a list.
It's a list, yeah. So things are starting to look quite cultish at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
The group also thought that Amy was the queen of the lost continent of Lemuria, whilst also being the daughter of Donald Trump in a past life. So she's just all the things.
What?
I don't know. See, that's another thing
that is so weird.
They love Hitler and Trump. Like
that is so funny.
I know.
Like just to drop that in. Like,
oh yeah.
Also,
by the way,
Trump's past life, she was his daughter.
Crackpots. So while in Crestone, the police were receiving more and more reports from ex-members of the cult. Just call it as it is, it's a cult, reporting that they had been physically and mentally abused by Amy, being only allowed to sleep around 3 to 4 hours a night, being woken up super early every morning to create YouTube videos all day.
Fucking hell.
Sometimes being starved and sometimes not even being allowed to sit down for large amounts of time. One ex-member explained to Dr. Phil that, quote, they claimed that if you weren't in motion, you were taking energy from Mother God.
Wow. Whoa.
Families were reporting the group having brainwashed their relatives, as well as committing fraud as well. In May 2020, a member of the group was found wandering the wilderness in Crestone, naked, disorientated, dehydrated, and with cactus needles in his feet.
Fuck. All right.
When confronted with this, Amy claimed that the man was lacking the right energy. But she still also denied that she was at fault, as well as denying any other claims of any kind of abuse occurring within the cult. It was also claimed by ex-members that they were made to constantly tend to Amy's every single need, while the abuse and neglect was also occurring.
This is horrendous.
It's horrendous. It's so bad. It gets worse.
Oh.
So fetching her food and drinks, alcohol, everything. One infamous video of Amy Carlson is that of her screaming and abusing a member of LHW because he made the mistake of cooking her meatballs instead of chicken parmesan. As much as it's horrible.
YouTube?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
As much as it's horrible because this poor member is obviously just like trying to make her happy and obviously dedicated to her. And it's the funniest thing. She's like obviously clearly like very drunk as well. And she was like, I didn't ask for meatballs. I asked for chicken parmesan. And she's like so angry. She's like, I do like meatballs. I love meatballs. I fucking love meatballs. But I didn't ask for meatballs.
Why would she upload something like that to YouTube and think like everyone will understand the abuse?
I don't know. And this is like a woman that's supposed to be like Mother God.
Yeah.
And she's clearly just shit-faced. And like losing her shit over
meatball loving.
Yeah,
it's God. Cool.
Wild. Also, apparently Amy would absolutely not allow any of the members of LHW to ever seek any kind of formal medical care, only alternative treatments.
Oh, right.
She claimed that this would expose her members to the evil of the world elite and the evil cabal. So many members were left untreated for things that they really needed attention for, especially considering the fact that a lot of them were starved, abused, and exhausted.
Yeah.
Something else that happened in LHW in 2020 was that they decided to move their headquarters from Crestone, Colorado, to the small island of Kauai, which is located...
To isolate them even more.
Yes, exactly. And this is located off the island of Hawaii, so it's part of Hawaii. The cult that is now calling themselves officially in videos and whatnot, Love Has Won, they really left an impact on the island of Kauai, and not in a good way.
Oh, dear.
About 14 members followed Mother God over to Kauai, even though there were way more members around the world other than the 14 that were on the island at the time. The plan was eventually to move the rest of them all over as well. Straight away, the locals of the island were suspicious of the group. They already had a feeling that the group were basically just up to no good. And LHW, they had also arrived to the island during the beginnings of the pandemic, with which they didn't stick to any kind of COVID regulations that were required of them at all. And the biggest thing that really pissed off the locals was that not long after their arrival, the group was claiming that Amy, Mother God, was in fact the Hawaiian goddess Pele. So,
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and they're like, no, you're fucking... No.
No. This is a big no-no. So Pele is a goddess or entity that is the creator of volcanoes, as well as all of the Hawaiian islands.
Oh my God.
So
what a big claim. Why would you
I know.
say something like that?
It's fucked up. So Pele is deeply respected and revered by the people of not just Kauai, but all of Hawaii.
Yeah.
So for someone who is not Indigenous to the country, who has no history, tradition, or culture there, for them to claim that they are Pele is absolutely fucking crazy. It's the equivalent, kind of some white person going to India for the first time with their cult members and claiming that they are Krishna or Vishnu. And
it's insane.
It's insane. Pele is prayed to every day by locals. She's the creator, essentially. Their behaviour became ever more evasive and suspect on the island, essentially constantly making videos preaching the word of Mother God as Pele, as Kauai and the world's saviour and healer. And this obviously further provoked the people of the island.
Yeah.
So Mother God had a strict no drug, no drinking policy within the cult, although she constantly appeared on the live streams and YouTube videos that were being made every single day, ripping bongs and drinking what was clearly just straight alcohol. Oh, yeah. She was pulling cones.
So she was okay.
Yes.
To do it, but not wow.
Yeah. She was pretty much always drunk.
Big bong rat on the
massive bong rat.
YouTubes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this fact is important not just to point out the hypocrisy of her rules, but also because Amy, by this point, is actually wheelchair bound and paralyzed from the waist down due to an aggressive, fast-growing cancer, according to the group. So,
oh, right, okay. Has she always been wheelchair bound?
No.
Just, okay, recently after.
Yes, though, this isn't a lifelong thing. So we don't know if it was actually cancer, but it could have been.
She wouldn't get medical treatment.
She didn't get.
Yeah,
well,
how would anyone know?
Her etheric surgery didn't work on herself, so there you go. So she claimed that she wasn't using any pharmaceuticals such as morphine for pain relief, only alcohol, which she said was organic. So it's okay.
Organic alcohol.
Organic alcohol. She regularly appeared on her live streams and videos, clearly absolutely wasted, swearing, yelling, being abusive towards animals and children.
Whoa.
In one video, you can see a very young child. Just a bit of a warning, this is not a nice scene. You can see a very young child crying and becoming visibly upset about something. And one of the cult members takes the child and locks him in a cupboard.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So Amy is present in this video and she's the one kind of calling the shots on this, despite the fact she wasn't the one to physically put the child in the cupboard. She was, leading this.
Yeah, I can imagine.
According to ex-members of the group, Amy would consume about 8 straight vodkas a night.
Oh, God.
In many of her videos where group members are talking and discussing to the camera, you can hear Amy drunkenly screaming and yelling from a different room. And the others just seem to do that weird cult smile and brush it off.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Smile,
this is all good.
smile.
I'm happy I'm here.
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable. Sometimes you can hear objects being thrown around and being smashed up against walls. And there has been footage of members explaining that she behaves this way because she is channeling and experiencing all of the world's emotions at one time, and it has to be expressed and vented out in some kind of way. And this is how it comes out. So she feels all the anger of the world, and this is why she does this.
Poor girl. God.
Poor Amy, poor Mother God.
Yeah.
Locals of Kauai were becoming increasingly more and more upset by the presence of Love Has Won on their island. They would hold protests in an attempt to send them away. Again, the cult was dismissive of the island's COVID procedures, often becoming abusive to residents of Kauai who would confront them about the risks that they were taking, as well as the videos that they were making about Amy being the sacred goddess Pele, while also being shit-faced.
Yeah.
The locals were pissed. Love Has Won continued to attempt to school the locals about Pele, saying that they're just scared and upset that their sacred goddess has finally returned.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
It's so bad. And they were just saying that you don't know what you're talking about. You can't say that you understand Pele. Like, Pele has returned. You can't say that you know better. Like, this is Pele. So, pretty fucked up. They also claimed that they didn't need to adhere to any silly COVID precautions and regulations because actually they had a cure and remedy for all illnesses, including COVID.
Oh.
The cure, they said, was colloidal silver, which the group's company named Gaia's Whole Healing Essentials LLC sold under their label.
Right.
So colloidal silver, if anyone's not sure, is a thing that has been used in the past to treat ailments such as rashes, infections, hay fever, but it's no longer used for these types of things because there is absolutely no proof that it's effective. And it also poses a risk to those who take it of turning your skin a bluish purple colour.
Yep.
And it can also cause brain function issues. So it is a bit risky to use.
Yeah, I would not risk that at all.
No fucking way. But Love Has Won was selling it in large quantities. And they were claiming that you can take this to not just treat COVID-19, but also to prevent you from contracting it in the first place.
Oh, wow.
As a preventative, essentially. The company advised to take their colloidal silver liquid product 3 times a day and 5 times if you showed symptoms of COVID-19.
What the fuck is this person doing? I can't believe this.
It's
this
so
is crazy.
dangerous. It's just, such a crazy story.
Yeah.
Amy herself took huge amounts of this colloidal silver to a point where her skin very obviously turned a bluish purple colour. Things became so heated between the cult and the residents of Kauai that at one point 100 of these protesters surrounded the home of Love Has Won and began smashing their car and throwing rocks and eggs at their house while also lighting fires in their yard.
Oh my God.
When the protesters were asked by police who had lit these fires, the protesters simply replied, Pele.
Yeah. Yep.
Being the goddess of volcanoes.
Yep.
The protesters weren't going to give up until these people left their island. They didn't need a 40-something white woman from the mainland telling them that their sacred goddess of creation had returned and she was a drunken, abusive mess. The mayor of Kauai, Derek Kawakami, eventually stepped in to broker an agreement with the cult where Love Has Won leaves the island in exchange for police escorts to the airport.
Wow. Okay.
Amy and Love Has Won safely made it back to the mainland and quickly found themselves back in Crestone, Colorado. Meanwhile, Amy Carlson was getting sicker and sicker and bluer, looking extremely skinny and debilitated in her videos. Of course, she had this apparent cancer that was making her so sick, but it's also thought that the humongous amounts of colloidal silver that she was ingesting made it that much worse, increasing the severity of her condition doubly. She was seen on numerous video posts appearing gaunt and thin and purple. The weirdness of Love Has Won and Amy Carlson came to a head when on April 28th, 2021, a member of LHW named Miguel Lamboy attended a police station in Colorado, not far from where the cult's current headquarters were. The reason that Miguel went to the police station was to report that he had gone home and found a corpse in his house.
Oh.
A corpse that he identified as 45-year-old Amy Carlson. Lamboy said that one day at his home in Moffett, Colorado, 5 members of Love Has Won rocked up to his house saying that they needed a place to stay. He agreed to let them crash while he headed out to do some business for that night. When he returned the following day, he entered his home and found Amy Carlson's mummified corpse in the back bedroom of the home. She had been wrapped in a sleeping bag, decorated with Christmas lights. Her purple mummified face had been painted with obnoxious makeup, and her eyes had been removed and replaced with glitter.
What? What? That is like, you can't even make something like that up. That is so insane.
Classic Love Has Won.
Her eyes.
Yes.
Ew.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I've seen footage of, like, the police footage of when they found her, when they entered the home and found her. And it's pretty creepy. Half her face is covered, but yeah, you can see part of it. So her lips were completely dehydrated and drawn back to reveal her teeth. According to police, her body had been set up in some kind of weird Christmas light shrine. And at first they thought that the group had painted Amy's face purple, or it was that colour due to the mummification. But turns out it was just the colour of her skin from all the colloidal silver.
Yeah.
One of the other reasons why Miguel went to that police station in the first place that day was because the LHW members within his home refused to allow Miguel to remove his 2-year-old son from the residence. When the police entered the home and had found the body, they also located a 13-year-old girl within the house, as well as Miguel's 2-year-old son, and they were just hanging out near the body. Miguel's son was returned to him, and the 13-year-old girl was put into protective custody.
Right.
The members who were found in, the LHW members who were found in Miguel's house, they were charged with abuse of a corpse and child abuse as well. The coroner who investigated Amy's body said that she had been dead for quite some time and had decomposed to a point where it was impossible to take any fingerprints. Though it's believed that Amy's health started rapidly declining of March that year, 2021, a member of the group posted a live stream on April 26th claiming that Mother God had ascended, meaning that Amy was dead. To this day, the cult members still have not said Amy is dead or Mother God is dead. They've only ever claimed that she has ascended.
So there's still followers?
Oh, yeah. They're still putting videos up every day. Yeah. And there's like a big picture of Amy in the background as well. So we don't know how long Amy had been dead for before that video post claiming that she had ascended. And we still don't know exactly Amy's cause of death either. But it is thought that her use of colloidal silver mixed with her severe alcoholism had a large part to play, as well as a possible anorexia as well.
Yeah.
We don't actually know if she really did have cancer, as it was only claimed by Love Has Won that she did have cancer, and their truths are suspect, to say the least. But it is very possible that she did have cancer. We do know that she was definitely wheelchair bound.
Yeah, and she was getting very visibly sick.
Very, very sick,
and
yeah.
It would have been something.
Oh, yeah, you could see in the videos that she was getting very sick. She was taking a lot of colloidal silver, which would essentially poison you, but yeah, it's hard to say. So now LHW still continues to feverishly post content on YouTube, still preaching the same kind of shit as before, the non-coherent babble about love and harmony and all that kind of stuff, like talk that just doesn't make sense. It's almost like they don't know what they're talking about. And they still reference Mother God in almost all their videos as if she's just still there existing. So that's the story of Love Has Won and Mother God.
That was fucking fascinating. That was crazy. Yes. I loved that.
Yeah, it's a good story. I've been tossing up because I've been wanting to cover a cult for a while, and I've started stories on a few of them, and this is the first one that I finished on a cult. So
this is great. Yeah, because I feel like I know a fair few cults, but yeah, this one's really interesting. That is really scary. Yeah, like it's hard with cults. I mean, they've all got their weird twist on things. So this one is kind of like they're just abusing their own followers, really. Like they haven't technically, murdered anyone or done like a, mass suicide or anything like that. But it's just like it's just like plain abuse of the followers, and they're just taking advantage of these people, and
it's straight up abuse. Yeah,
it's the right thing, that what they're doing, and they don't talk to their family. I mean, this shit is definitely cult. Like, there's no other word to describe what the fuck is going on there.
Oh, there's some really sad videos of like sisters and or like family members of. There's like a so basically there's a woman in Love Has Won called, I think she's called like Aurora, and she's kind of obviously not a leader, but she's kind of like top of the ranks, almost like a spokeswoman. Okay. She does a lot of like the media stuff, and there was a big Vice interview that was done with them, and she kind of was leading that. But yeah, like her sister has made a video being like, this isn't my sister, like this is someone totally different. Shit. This is not what she's normally like. This is, she's just being brainwashed.
It's so hard watching people get sucked up by these things.
So crazy. Something that I didn't include in the story is that, so after a few years, Amy and Amaranth White Eagle, they got married and then they got divorced. But pretty much through the whole history of the cult, Amy would find father gods, and she would like be with these father gods for a certain amount of time, and then just essentially kick them out, and then find a new father god, and then be like, no, you're too mortal. You gotta go. Oh my god!
So just had like fuck buddies.
Exactly.
The whole thing. Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask if Amaranth is still there, but
gone.
That's
gone.
Yeah,
there's a video. I can't remember his name, but there is one ex-member who was a father god, and he was actually, I think, involved in the Vice interview as well, like the Vice doco.
Oh, I'm gonna watch that. That's pretty really
interesting. Cool. Although when the Vice doco was made, Amy hadn't died yet.
Oh, which is right.
Interesting within itself. Being in a different kind of time frame. There is a really great video that covers the cult by a YouTube creator called, her channel is called Ask a Mortician. Her name's Caitlin, and she's like amazing. But yeah, she does a very interesting video on these guys. But there's just so much to kind of cover with them. It's hard to kind of pinpoint,
No, you've done really well of presenting that.
Thanks.
That's for me, not knowing anything about this, that was done really well. That was really cool.
Awesome.
I liked that.
Two
I love that.
fantastic stories.
Oh my God. Hell yeah.
Good episode.
Yeah. Sweet episode. Yeah, I hope you guys liked it all. I'm sure you did.
Oh, you loved it.
You're still listening, so if you're still up to this point, I'm sure you loved everything we told you today. But I guess we're gonna leave it at that.
Yep.
It's a bit of a long one.
Love ya and leave ya.
Have a good day or night, and we'll be speaking in your ear holes next week.
Speak at you then. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Ciao.
This episode of Spooky Mountain was created and recorded on land of the original custodians, the Gundungurra and Bidjigal people. We pay respects to the past, present, and emerging mob. My name is Jordi, and I'm a proud Gunya woman. Thank you for listening.